Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. I'll join myself up here on the show this evening is my mucker Southside and the one and only Bridgeman. Evening, boys.
Evening, Ox. Good to be on the night with a legend, Bridgeman. Looking forward to the show tonight. I'll give a shout out to the troops on the YouTube feed, William, Stephen and Dado. I'll give them a shout out there in the chat now. And good evening to everybody else listening in this evening.
Dado, I like that name, mate. Evening,
Bridge. Dado pros those blue boots.
That was a good player, wasn't he? Evening, Bridge.
Oh, good evening, Ox here, and of course, big good evening to Southside and the techie boys in the background. Can a big shout out to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How's Bridge?
I'm okay, a bit hoarse.
A bit hoarse. Listen, mate, I've seen in Scottish media that we might be hosting a referees summit at Ibrox, mate, or the teams. You fancy it, mate?
Wow.
First thing I'd get Southside is one of the charts. Can you read this letters with what you might do the board with some of them?
Aye. That'll be interesting, won't it?
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right. How you Southside?
Aye, good defining moment yesterday. Games that probably going to make you win the league, mate.
Moments, mate. Moments. Like
moments. Well, aye, and it was. Listen, it's the game's done. We'll probably critique it as we always do on a Monday night. There might be a few people out there a wee bit unhappy and that, and I include a lot of my pals in that. They were chucking it at 2-0 done yesterday. I had to give them abuse on the way back for the game. I can't believe it. So it had the same attitude as the players, man. Was all just walking off. But listen,
you saying to me, mate, it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Of course, it's always how you finish, mate, isn't it? But at the end of the day, listen, the game lasts 90 minutes, and I know people get excited about things and they can put stuff out there and all that. I've seen it, and I'm talking about my own pals here. I'm not going to go at anybody else just in case you know what people are like. I had a few ding dongs with my pals yesterday about.
You guys will not be happy, by the way.
I know, there's only two, but I know it's poor. I should tell anybody that I've only got two pals. But I had to, you know, it's like anything, you know, you've got to stick with it. You know, we're standing there at the other end. And by the way, fair play to Falkirk, £25 a ticket. That was something that surprised us all yesterday. I couldn't remember how much it was the first time we were there. And for the last time we visited them, Majowski scored, and obviously it gets two yesterday, but a difference in the score and the way we played. But £25 a ticket to go to Falkirk, they should be commended for that, because everybody else, when you go, starts with a 3, unless you go up the road there, it'll be 50 odd by the time we got up here for the split. But £25 Ox was a decent price for a ticket.
Falkirk are doing a lot of things right, apart from the pitch, Bridgeman,
Well, you know, that pitch is some of the plastic pitches have got a high bounce, you know. That one has got no bounce. I mean, you can see some of the passes the boys were doing, and it ended up a skidder. It ended up, you know, dropping down for 10 feet, and all of a sudden it's just bumbling along, and no pace in it. You could see the pitch was grabbing the ball a lot, and we left ourselves short a couple of times. Dangerously short, should I say, with pass backs, because we are good with the pass backs from about 40 yards back to the keeper, just to let them recycle it. And a couple of them that weren't really getting to the keeper until the keeper came out of the box, you know. So yeah, that was obvious. It's obvious.
Mad a pitch. Well, critique again. So say that we done a bit of it yesterday. You can shove in your tuppence worth. So we didn't start, Mel. We can debate all we want. The wind, the pitch, you know, but collectively we didn't start well, Southside.
No, we didn't. I know it was for the same for it. The park was a bit sticky and all. The ball was holding up. They were trying to wet the park before the game. They had the sprinklers on, but with the wind, it was just blowing in back into the stand, to believe it or not. They had it from behind the goals, blowing out of the crossbar. But as it was doing, it was going back into the terrace, and I don't know how it looked like maybe for the telly, but it was a really mad wind yesterday, and obviously Falkirk had the advantage of that wind in the first half. But we didn't start well. Looked a bit slow, cumbersome, couldn't string passes together. Falkirk went for the juggler at the start. They played on Tavox. The first, as soon as they kicked the ball off, they played it right into the right back channel for that boy to go chasing it. And they gave Tav a bit of a hard time at times yesterday, especially first half, just with pace. He was getting down the flank, and Magoma copped it on the other side as well at times. But we didn't start well. That was the sad thing, and frustration was kicking in for the stands, you know, because even if you don't start well, it's going to match teams for effort and commitment. And at that time, we weren't just matching them, you know. That's what we could. That was a given at the start. You've got to go and match the opposition, and we didn't for the start.
I agree with you, Southside. I think our team, we just failed to read that pitch and what the ball did in it. And if we saw anything, we ignored it. But invariably, we never saw it because you could see the difference when they were attacking, particularly as you say, for going wide either side. They were having plenty of enjoyment there, and whenever they passed the ball, it looked as if it was a wee trundler, which it probably was, because they know what the pitch is like. They know how to play these nice wee passes. I thought both their goals were cracking goals for them. No arguments at all about that. I thought that in the first half anyway, I thought we were pretty poor in picking our man up. It looked as if we couldn't play on the pitch at all. We didn't know what we did. At times we thought didn't know what we were doing. What were we doing, you know? But as the game went on, getting near half time, we saw a wee change. But after half time, then big difference.
Aye, and we allowed the ball to bounce. That was a problem with the first goal, and as he's no ox, he allowed it to bounce, and Chokwane
and the communication, mate. Chokwane, I mean, if you're honest, Southside, the defender's got to take control of that. He's facing onto the ball. Chokwane's coming the wrong way. To me, that's a basic in football. The defender takes that out. He takes the man, the ball, and everything. He clears it. He's the guy facing the right way. I don't know how you see it, mate.
I thought he should have probably Giga should have took a bit more thing. When the ball bounces into him, he kicks it off him. The ball breaks. Tav's out in the wing, which he's exposed then. And when the boy just gets the ball and fires it down the line, he's off into it. And he's running down the line. I was looking across at him, saying, right, how are we going to cut this out? But he cuts it back in between the two of them, Fernandez and Magoma, and neither of them can get to the ball. And the boy finished. It was an easy finish for him. Standing there himself, just has to take the touch and then fire it in the corner. It was an early goal to lose, and it was pretty poor. But I've seen it a couple of times. It's not often that we've been doing 2-0 and many times this season and anything like that. But it was a bit of a shock after 6 minutes that you went a goal done, because it was a simple thing to clear ops, and they just two of them just didn't deal with it well at the time.
We had one ball, the ball's ours. We've got two Rangers players who have a clawed moment. I know Tav's out of position, but in that scenario, he's trying to go for the ball we played out to him, and that's the way we play when the fullbacks are a wee bit higher. So they two getting each other's road, for a want of a better word. The ball goes down the wing. It's a decent goal from Falkirk's point of view, but just a wee bit more communication. And by the way, there are no experienced pros involved in that for us. You know, there's no Giga's young, Jermaine's reasonably young. I'm not saying they're babies, you know, but they're early 20s, so they've not played that many first-team games, all of them. And then obviously it comes in, Fernandes, he's no great, and Goram, I think the surface beat him there, and it looks poor, and he's used to the guy's getting easy finish. And we made moments in the game after that, and then arguably the second goal's even worse, Southside.
It was a good finish, but Chukwani kicks the ball at the edge of the box early on when the ball breaks,
Right.
and then when it comes out, it hits him again, and comes across our 18-yard box. The boy runs onto it well. Listen, and he's dispatched it as soon as it left his foot from where I was standing behind the goal. I went, off, that's in. As soon as they hit it, I thought, off, that's in. It was a good strike, but Butland, you're 2-0 down. Butland's not even made a save. He's had 2 shots at goal. He's not touched the ball yet. It was madness. But give the boy the due back. He finished it well, and on that type of surface as well, the way the ball's coming across the park. He kept it down and he put it right in the corner rocks, and he beat Butland all ends up, to be perfectly honest.
Aye, it was a good goal. The actual finish itself was a good finish, Bridge, but the Claude moment, and Big Tucci's having his worst half an hour in the Rangers jersey, if we're honest. No supported by the rest of the team who weren't a great, Bridge, but it was a good actual finish, a decent strike, yeah.
Yeah, they scored. Their part in it was excellent for them. Our part in it was dreadful for the whole defence, every one of them, and the midfielder. We were just hopeless. We didn't know where we were. We didn't know where the ball was, truth be told, at times, But there's lots and lots of wee mellies here and there. But when that ball came over and it actually came off of Chukwani's chest, I think it was his chest, and it went right across. The guy just banged it into the net. Absolutely brilliant goal. So you're talking about something, maybe, I think it was just on the 18-yard line, hit it. Just brilliant goal. And, well, there you go. What can you do? We can only blame, if you call it blame. But when you look at, I would suggest that the 4 defenders didn't know where they were and didn't know where the ball was. And I thought that Falkirk played really well to get the pressure that they needed to make all that happen, because that's all it was. It was just pure pressure. And our players just seemed to sort of lose confidence just at that point in time. Just like Magami in the first, almost sorry, in the first goal, he just didn't know where he was. He's playing centre half at that point and couldn't get the ball. The ball was too quick on the pitch for him. So that end of the pitch was good for attacking players. That end of the pitch. The other end of the pitch wasn't so good for attacking players, but we saw that in the second half. Exactly, the wind and the pitch. I thought, obviously we know, we played football, and so the biggest leveler in football is the weather. First of all, the weather changes things, but you add in a plastic pitch that nobody knows what happens with it. And there you go. It was there. Terrible 45 minutes.
So we're 2-0 done, and we hadn't really started. We had moments, where the gas man comes in Southside and he puts out, I think it was the goalkeeper's legs, and we broke away, and then there's a couple of nice touches with Big Chermiti, and he lets himself down because he can't pass the ball. And I think, once again, that was some of the problem in our team yesterday, mate. All over the pitch, we were short with the passes, mate. So you've got to work that out as a pro at any age, never mind people who's playing for their first team. If you're going to put more weight on it on the surface of the ball's bounded, that's what you warm up for. So it's not that kind of pitch where you can play a short pass. You've got to make sure you put extra on it. So that's what you've got to do. I find it frustrating sometimes. But then later on I watched the Chelsea and Man City game, and you consider the money they've spent, they couldn't pass the ball either at times sometimes. But there we go, that's another story. But I just get annoyed sometimes when I watch pros and they can't pass. I'm not talking about a tremendously hard pass. I'm talking basics, Bridge. I find it frustrating. I find it frustrating. So we had moments. We slowly get a foothold in the game without being outstanding. Falkirk were sort of going back and back. We've got a free kick. It was in. It breaks the ball. the ball gets in, there's a stramash, and Big Tucci redeems himself a bit because he forces the ball home. And that was a big moment, mate.
Absolutely. Sorry, pal, to apologise.
I was hoping that that we get a goal back before half time. Because you're 2-0 down. Falkirk's been up the park twice. Let's be honest, they've come up the park twice, and twice they've scored. So we had a couple of wee sort of follies. Mikey Moore, although you get whipped to half time, he was trying to get on the ball and make things happen. He was running them, but like you say, we had a couple of wee half chances or getting up the park to cause them some problems. Whipped one across the goal, nobody there, and eventually we get the reward. Asgard hits the post, obviously, it comes out to Raskin, who fires it back in, and he header it for there off the other post, and then Big Chukwani scores. And at that point, I thought, that's it. We're not losing this game today. I just had a feeling. I thought we needed to get a goal back before half time. It was interesting because while they were waiting on VAR, Rangers had a team meeting in the centre circle. Every player went into the centre circle and they were having it out. Talking, there's a few fingers getting pointed, and they were having an exchange, and the whole team while they're waiting on the VAR decision coming back, which at that time, because you're up the other end, you don't know what the VAR decision's about. You're waiting to see what's happening here. Why is there a VAR decision? But the players had a meeting with ourselves in the centre circle, and there was probably a few home truths getting told. Because after that goal, up until half time, you could see the attitude changed. They were running more, they were tackling more, we were on the ball a lot more. So whoever called the meeting at the time, I don't know. Whoever instigated it, I don't know. But they all joined in and they all had a bit to say, I think, before they went off at half time. So that obviously helped. Could have been our captain, Tav. It chose to get everybody into the thing, mate. I don't know, because at that time, we just had celebrated the goal, and then you were looking at the ref and you seen him holding his ear, the usual, so you think, oh, something must be wrong here. Then you look round and all the players are in right at the halfway line, and they're all talking to each other, and they're all in it together. So first time I've ever seen them do that, if I'm honest.
Just out of curiosity, who was the Taylor?
Jack Buckland, I think.
All right, thank you. Just inquiring, mate. Just inquiring. It showed you a bit of that on the TV outside, but we never quite seen the pictures that you've seen live in the game. But look, we got a foothold back in the game, and we had come into the game, and we get to go. It's a big moment, Bridge, isn't it?
Huge. By the way, on that point of the sort of the kerfuffle about the Rangers goal and what that VAR were looking at, I don't know why VAR were involved. The linesman standing right at the corner flag, watching that, never lifted his flag, because the only thing they could have been looking at, in my opinion, was did the ball go out the park and come back in again. There's nobody, no camera caught it, but that linesman was standing at the corner flag watching that and never gave it. So it took, I don't know how many minutes, it looked like 4 minutes or something like that, to come with a decision that it was obvious it never went out the park. So to the linesman, I mean, he's standing there. So if he sees it, he would obviously, he should be saying that's out. So, but no, he didn't do that. So I don't know what that's all about. So forgive me, I just get suspicious of it all.
No, I get it, Bridge. I get it. And the point you make, if I could just add to that, the trouble with VAR is, if you don't get the right equipment, what's the point?
Exactly. What is the limitations of? What is it? What's the status of VAR? How do we know?
It costs more money, more cameras, more facilities.
But the SFA are running it, so they should be producing the cameras. It's as simple as that. They've got to get the cameras.
Bridge, man, they've got wages to pay.
I know, pal, and bunks to give, No, but seriously, if we're going to run it, we need to do it right.
Right. Aye, exactly, mate. You're wasting your time. Not just in that moment yesterday, the whole thing, mate. You either do it right or you don't do it at all. That's just my opinion. But anyway, so because in at half time, and I'm trying to get Mr. Fox in because he's wanting to make a quick point. Yeah, I'll just see if he's going to join us just quickly for this one point. at half time. Mr. Fox, you going to jump in here? I think that's a polite get yourself to somewhere Southside. I've just picked that.
Sounds like
Aye,
thunder.
aye. You know, Fox, he'll come in when he's ready. Doesn't like to come too soon.
Yes. So we were in at half time and the mood had changed. Because of the goal. You're saying, okay, let's get the next goal and we can go on and win this game. We've been told, and Mr. Fox has been told, at half time there was somebody went ballistic in the dressing room. I believe it was a captain who didn't have a good game yesterday, but he still got duties today. So that's what we're picking up. And do you want to run us through the second half, Southside?
Well, second half, obviously, it was Danny Rowe was out. He was out in the dugout before the team came out. And fair play to him, as we were just finishing in the first half, Danny Rowe was up and down that touchline screaming to players to get their finger out and get up the park and that. So, but I noticed, obviously, at half time, you noticed that certain players were out warming up. And Danny Rowe came out and he was out there. So, obviously, the players had a lot to say in the dressing room before they came out. But second half, totally changed. The attitude, well, obviously, we're got the wind behind us, you know, which was going to be a factor and no playing against it. But you could see for the off, the minute we came out, we were on it. And it was a great pass for Raskin through to Gassama, who eventually had to fight back to win the ball back and cut it across. And it was a great finish for Chimiti running in, just getting his foot onto it and just putting it right in the corner. A goal so early in the second half, and I knew immediately once that went in it that early, I thought, this is it. There's only going to be one winner in this game now. You know, you could sense it. Support were up. Everybody knew it was coming. We were hoping they would get another one quite quickly after it, but it was a good finish, a good pass for Raskinox that set off the gas man, jumping inside on the left, sort of lost it, but pulled it back just at the edge of the box. And when he fires that across, we've got three players in there. The Falkirk's got three players, and Chimiti's just in the right place just to guide it into the corner.
Can I just say something on the Falkirk manager? I didn't hear it, but I read something last night that he says at professional level he should be playing at the whistle, and he's right. They stopped in that first goal, and also that boy tried to buy a cheap foul, and the Gasman won the ball cleanly, and that's a modern trend in the game now, where defenders seem to fall down. Yeah, when Bridgman was the defender, you had to have a sledgehammer before you go home on the deck. or a fiver you dropped.
Or a fiver I dropped. I just dropped a fiver next to me and I'm in.
Always keep
you're
a
absolutely right.
Outside, just drop it and he was done.
You know, you're absolutely right, Ox. Yeah, absolutely right.
Oh, the boy tried. We know what he was trying to do. It's one of the ones, isn't it? You want to feel the touch, but he never hooked the ball. And it was no foul, and the ball ends up in the back of the net. And I thought the Falkirk manager said he played a whistle. I was like, fair play to you. I think the 6 or 7 year old you were talking about, maybe. But there you go. So we get the goal, and then Raskin, he said he was coming in for extra. Then at his best moment of the game, Bridgman, when he goes through and he fires the ball into the net to make it 3-2.
Yeah, it was a beautiful goal. Absolutely wonderful goal. Well worked. You know, I just see that boy as being one of the best midfielders in the country without a doubt. It's getting him to play the 90 minutes or play the same level in 90 minutes. So how the manager's going to do that, I don't know. But you could see the quality in him. And I'm sure when he's playing into the Rangers end, when they were away, I'm sure Southend and the troops around him are absolutely delighted to see him. The way he walks with the ball, he puts a wee spurt on. So he's an athlete in our team, and he carries us. He carries the team. I don't know. I thought he was named man of the match yesterday, but I'm not 100%. Maybe somebody could clarify that. But absolutely brilliant. What a wonderful goal. Low, just similar to their goal, their first goal. Very similar in that sense, where the ball was low. They didn't try and sky it. Just put it dead low and straight in. Keeper well wide. Well, he was well short about himself, you know, just like your goalkeeper was.
Yes, and the fans and the team are getting a bit of togetherness at that moment, Southside.
Aye, he done well. Obviously, we forced the Bain to kick the ball along, and he was the guy that won it in the midfield, and a nice wee flick for Asgard into his path. And at that time, we had a couple of players in the box, and I think he's going to try and fire us across the box a bit, but he allowed them to get to the edge of the box, and just as he gets inside the box, he decides to pull the trigger. He came and joined the supporters in the away end, which was a joy to see. But it was a good finish. It was a good strike, and right at that minute in time, we've turned the game round, and we've turned the game round at that point because it was all Rangers. They'd one wee flurry up the park before we scored, but apart from that, we were dominating the game. We were winning tackles. We were on the ascendancy. And it was the right time to score another goal just after getting equaliser. It was a good finish, draw it across the goalkeeper right into the far corner. It was a good finish, if you're asking me.
And Eric is even better, mate.
Aye, I think it was Big Fernandez. I think it was that won the ball. And we got it out wide, and it was a lovely cross in. And Bojan just runs round behind his marker. First I thought he was going to header it, but improvises and puts it in with like his thigh, his knee. But it was a good run. Obviously Tav was in there at the back post and all looking for it. But Bojan goes in between the two defenders and more or less just sort of knees it into the far corner. And then after that, you thought, oh, that's that, it'll be a matter of how many now, because we were looking dangerous at that point, Ox.
See that Majovsky goal? It's not the same, but do you remember the one in the 55 season when Roof, I think
Roof,
aye, Roof. In the cup tie against them, and he put it in with his chest. Somebody fired that across the goal. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Kent, and Roof chests it in. But just because that instinct that maybe a goal scorer's got, that other players haven't got, that he just made sure they were in the net. He was taking his time, running it into the net. It looks easy, Bridge. He can look foolish, quite simple.
Yeah, the way he went in and he knew where the ball was coming to. First of all, he thought, I'm going to get a header on this, and he saw the dip on the ball, and he adjusted himself. And that's what good strikers do, because they only get a sniff here now and again during a game. They don't always get great chances. But that proved to be a fantastic chance for him, the way he adjusted his body and just thighed it in the net. It looked as if he got off his thigh. But I'm not going to argue which part of the anatomy he put it in. But it was delightful for him. I think he's a smashing player. I've said this for a number of weeks now. I know some games he goes and he doesn't get the service, and that's our fault. The rest of the team's fault. No giving the ball to him, and then of course him and Sharmiti can frustrate everybody, because when you give him a good ball and he's in his own, my goodness gracious, he can put the ball over the bar and he can hit the goalkeeper. He can do all these things but score, But he came up with the goods. Both of them come up with the goods. 2 goals each. Can't beat it.
So we went 4-2 up. Then there's a mad moment. Fernandez, for me, starts it. He's very, very casual in the right back position. Doesn't clear his lines. The ball is the left back position. The ball is through Falkirk. The ball plays it in. It's a nothing pass. The boy's running away for goal. And Tav, a mad 30 seconds, Southside.
The boy goes to play the 1-2. As soon as Tav gets involved there and makes contact, it was a penalty. It was a Stonewall penalty. He couldn't even argue the fact. He's played a 1-2 to run round him. At first I thought he tripped him, but he obviously gave him a wee tug. Silly thing to get away because we were in the ascendancy at that point. But it was a Stonewall penalty to Falkirk. There was nothing, he couldn't argue the point, Ox, to be perfectly honest.
Aye. And Boyd dispatched it, Butland nearly got it, but then we responded really well again. And we goes up the park, we'll go to under, and Big Chermiti does it again, Bridgeman. there's a potential penalty that Bob breaks, but he takes that out to him by busting it into the net.
Yes, you know, I think our goal, their goal, a penalty one. I just asked the question: what on earth was Taff thinking of? You know, what was that about? He's one of the most experienced professionals in our club, and he comes away with something stupid like that, and then argues with the referee. And I'm thinking, I'm going to send him off if he keeps mouthing, you know. Anyway, the goal at the next go up the park, away we go up the park, and within a minute we've got another goal. Big Chermiti. What a player! What a player he's turning it to be. His name's in everybody's lips, you know. He's so good, so good. I just like the guy. Obviously, we need to find, and he needs to find. He must be able to communicate what he wants in any other way. But he does get himself about, and he does pick up loose balls, and he does challenge very hard and pick the ball up without fouling. And I think that's brilliant of him. But he has to make sure. Scored 2 goals. I'm not going to argue about it. But he could have scored 3 or 4. Simple as that. But whoa, what a goal! What a goal that was! That just sent the pounds mental. But that's another two goals clear. Brilliant.
And then the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake was the ball gets played into the hand-man, nice and simple, bit of pace, bursts forward, puts it in the box. Simple goal, south side, but they all count.
Aye, once he sort of knocked the ball to Chermiti, he didn't stand and admire what he'd done. There was space in behind, and he made the run, which was good. And he obviously get tracked, and then when he whips it across, Majowski makes a run in between defenders. We had 7 players in their penalty area at that point. 7 players in their penalty area looking to receive the ball. Majowski, it was good that he got one. It was a sort of typical Majowski goal, isn't it? Ones you've seen them score before. But aye, and obviously if you keep a striker service like that, like we did, he popped in with 2 goals yesterday, and it was a good finish. And that was a 6th goal. It was good to go and keep scoring goals yesterday as well. You know, we didn't chuck it. We kept the pressure on, and it was a really good finish.
We've actually got closer to Hearts because our goal difference is better, if that makes any sense, even though we're still at 1 point. We've improved our goal difference against Hearts. We've improved our goal difference against them. Bizarrely, but you never seen coming after half an hour. But aye. Listen, before we open the phone lines, gentlemen, I just want to say a shout for everybody here at Rangers Radio. One of our regular listeners, Thomas McGee, who's always a lot of the time in my Facebook feed, and sadly, Thomas passed away at the weekend. Just 60 years of age, and maybe that puts the first half an hour of the game into perspective. That there's very important things in life. And can I just say for everybody here at Rangers Radio, condolences to Thomas, his friends and family, and another bear gone. And it's always sad, but all the best for everybody here at Rangers Radio.
Well done, Dr. Sher, well done.
Oh, no, 16, no age at all. Listen, gentlemen, we get the phone lines open, yes?
Please.
Yep.
Well, get yourself a mute and let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Southside, look, it was a difficult match as far as the weather and the pitch is concerned. But if you're looking to improve our team for the last time we went up there, mate, it's night and day, innit?
Aye, 100%. Last time we went there, I think we was playing, I was thinking about that earlier on. Big Cornelius was playing.
Left back, yeah.
He was in the left back spot. Aye, night and day. I think it was Majowski scored that day, and he obviously comes back and scores 2 yesterday. But aye, night and day. But aye, I'm not worried. we lost 2 goals. We didn't start well. Took a while to get going. See, at the end of the day, game last 90 odd minutes, and we passed the test. We got the 3 points, and we're a team in form. And what's that? 14 goals in the last 3 games, 9 different goal scorers. I think the manager said. I heard them say there the weekend. So all good, and we're filling the box up. When we're putting balls across the box and getting into the area, we've got loads of players in there looking to try and get on the end of things. So, listen, I don't care how we get the job done. We've got 5 cup finals. I believe we still only need to win 4, but we want to win the 5, obviously, and we'll be champions, and that's the way to look at it. He's done a remarkable job. We've been slacking games. We've not played the 90-minute performances. But see, when you get to this end of the season, you want to be on it for the start right through for 90 minutes. But I'll tell you what, if we can still get the games won and we're not playing for 90 minutes, I'll know, but I don't give a... I'm going to say something, but I'll know. I couldn't care less.
Flying in it there. Did that have flying in it?
Aye. I couldn't give a sugar. As long as we get the 3 points, mate, Bears coming out the stadium, we're happy on Sunday. And that's what matters. And everybody that's watched the game, they'll be happy. So listen, just keep going and let's get the job done. And that's all we can do is just get the wins. And no matter how we get them, as long as we get them, I don't give a care about performances also at the moment, as long as we just keep picking up the points and the wins.
Listen, we scored 5 goals in about half an hour, mate. You know,
it was 5 goals second off. Do you know what I mean?
You know, 5 goals in half an hour, pretty much. You know, give or take, a few minutes here or there. You know, so the firepower and the things we talked about before, getting players in the box, making chances. You must be making chances, Bridge, if you scored 14 goals in the last 3 league games. You've got to be.
Absolutely, we're making a lot of chances. That's what I'm saying. I think that Chermiti could have scored, I would imagine, 2 or 3 there yesterday. And of course, I think Miovski as well could have a couple of, and of course, Gazman had a couple of shots. So all the guys were having shots yesterday. Maybe not as good shots as they were the ones that scored the goals, of course. But make no mistake, in the second half, the way Rangers come out and started playing football the way we can play football, that was impressive, mighty impressive. And any critics from a TV and our press perspective, they shut their mouth. The Rangers players shut their mouth yesterday. That was an enormous display by them, second half. Enormous display. I think it's just, what can I say? Apart from the penalty kick we gave away, I don't think there was very many more mistakes by the Rangers players in the game that caused end. So as far as I'm concerned, we played absolutely brilliantly from the second half right through. Look, we know Falkirk's got a wee fighting team, you know. They're that manager they've got is one of the most experienced managers in football. He really knows what he's doing, and he had his team up for it. Unfortunately for him, they read the game right well in the first half, but they never in the second, because they thought Rangers were going to cave, and they never. And that's what makes me so proud of them. They're there, they're winning, and they know they're winning now. They know they're winning. If they don't, they should. Let's put it that way. They just know. If they're capable of doing that performance like they did in the second half in every game, then other teams must woe be tied, because they're really storming.
Yeah, look, we can criticise all we like the first half an hour. We can say it was no good enough, the pass was poor, we weren't at it as a team. We didn't start, players didn't play well, we were disjointed, whatever you want to say. After that half an hour disappears, you've got to also, if you're fullness in your criticism, you've got to be fullness in your praise, Southside. That the next 60 minutes, some of the football and the movement and the desire and the attitude was excellent.
Aye, listen, we've not been a 90-minute team in a lot of the games. I get that, but at the end of the day, we're getting a job done, and for the record that he's got and what he's doing, and getting his wins, if you look at the amount of points we've amassed in the last 25 games that he's been in charge, If we had started and we'd only played 25 games up to now, along with Hearts and that mob across the city, we're battering them in points and everything else. We'd be more points ahead. We'd have scored more goals. We had to come in and transform this team, the squad that was low in confidence, and pull them together. And it's not been perfect, but the squad's not still good enough. But it's not been perfect. But look, we're 5 games away, 5 wins away from winning a league title. 5 wins away from winning a league title here, from where we were. You look at the amount of goals we've scored. And like we said, 14 in the last 3 games. 9 different goal scorers. We moan about our strikers weren't scoring. Well, our strikers turned up on Sunday and scored 2 in each game, in the game. So listen, we just got to keep it going. Remarkable turnaround. And the squad's there. We're probably the team that's probably in form out the 2 teams that are round about us. They're struggling to get wins across the board. And we're going out and scoring quite freely. Okay, performances have been a wee bit shady at times. And I'm not caring about, we'll not get away with this all the time, we'll not get away with this. We've only been doing once all season. We've been beat twice all season. That's it. And we've been doing once 2-0 in a game, I think, to Livingston there recently. Then we pulled it back. But apart from that, we're 5 wins away from winning a league title. So what's there not to be happy about and be positive about? And as the banner said at the end of the game, keep believing. And like I say, 5 wins away from winning a league title from where we were. So I'm well happy. I can see the turnaround that he's had today. And long may this continue, mate.
Did you mention happy and positive, mate?
Always.
Evening, Stephen.
If I had one son, I would have another 10 and they'll all grow up. Listen, boys, five games and a league's ours, man. I'll tell you now, all we need to do is Motherwell, do them at Ibrox, beat Hearts and draw with Celtic, the league's ours. Trust me. We beat Motherwell, beat Hearts away and draw with Celtic, we won that league. That's how I'm reading it, looking at that, we won that league. The league's ours. Nobody else will stop us after Celtic. Nobody. We'll just blow everybody out the water. Confidence, it's snowballing. The Southside said there, the banner said keep believing. We've got to do it, man. We've got to do it. That was a great fight back. First, second buzz, the first half, woof, nowhere near it. I don't know what Danny Rose said to them at half time, but they came out a different team and done the business. But see some of the Rangers fans at half time, some of the things I was reading, they need to chuck it. They need to, honestly, it makes you sick to even think to support the same team as you sometimes. All right, we get it. It's no good enough, but sack a guy. They're shouting the sack a guy. We've been beat twice this season. We've been beat. You know what I mean? You've got to be a wee bit more realistic and stop for a minute and think, right, wait a minute, a game last night, a minute, let's see how they got on. And by all means, everybody's got an opinion. They can go in after the game's done and do it. But at half time, listen, there's nobody felt more deflated than the boys all starting on that stone Sunday. We were all looking at it going, let's get on here, man. What the hell's happening? I'm back on to bang the usual drums. All the bells are in the away end. There's seats all over the place. And there's bells outside looking for tickets, bells in the away end, and there's seats all over the place still. When is Scottish football going to stop eating at Celtic? And I'm hearing the day that Falkirk are going to review the last game, the tickets for the last game. I don't know if any of you have heard any of that rhetoric today, but they're going to start looking at the final game. So what they're going to do, they're not going to give any allocation, because I'll tell you what happened. Everybody will just descend in Falkirk, and there'll not be enough police to stop everybody getting in. And trust me. So they need to say, right, this is, if Rangers are going to Falkirk to win the league on that last day, they'll need to give that at least that full end at the back of that goal.
I'm hearing whispers, Stevie. If that is the case, they're going to move it to the Maracana.
They'll need to do something. But anyway, listen, just be positive, Bears. We've got as good a chance as anybody winning this league. And Southside's right. Look where we were. What was it? 12, 14 points behind Hearts? You know what I mean? Look where we were. We're in the doldrums. Most people had their white flags already up. Look where we are now. So come on, now's the time. We all need to pull together, galvanise, pull together with the team. Be with them, go with them, sing, everything, give them everything we've got. Wish them well. Even when they're doing no doing in a game, get behind them, chant their names, get into it. And if we win this league, just think if us, as it Olympiacos, if they don't make that thing, if we win the league, we get straight into the Champions League maybe.
Well,
There's
there's another scenario that could put that Shakhtar Donetsk in that conference, mate. That could go against us, but we'll just see when we take it. But you're right. There's a good chance. We could go right into the Champions League, mate. Yeah.
This is what's at stake here. So it's not just winning the league and putting £4 million in your pocket for winning the Scottish League. It's what comes after that. It might materialise with a wee bit of luck. I mean, how many times has the kiddie fiddlers get in the back door? So maybe this is your time.
No pun intended there.
No pun intended. No.
See the thing is, big man. See the thing is, see when you look at it and you hear, I had a few of the boys are all on the chat, man, and they were going to right. I gave them it tight in the way back after the game, right? And I'm like, and it's the same in the nonsense and all. He's not got a clue what he's doing and this and that. Listen, he was jumping about that touchline, screaming at that team to get their finger out. Then they had their wee meeting. Their wee meeting after they scored the first goal in the halfway line, and they all started to get their act together. As I tried to say earlier, if we'd played 25 games under Danny Rowe, right, and this was where we were now, we'd be 10 points ahead of that mob across the city, right? We'd be 12 points ahead of Hearts at this time. If we'd started the game, we'd been 25 games down the road. We'd have a plus 36 goal difference. We'd have plus 18 in that mob and 17 in Hearts. No, we've lost one. He's lost one. We've had one defeat in 25 games under Danny Rowe, and people think he should be sacked. He should be out the door. Do you know what I mean? He's turned this team around, and we're 5 games away from winning the league title. 5 games here. No, you couldn't make it up, mate. Honestly, you couldn't make it up. Listen, I'll tell you now. We've sorted a box out for Falkirk, right? We're getting a box at 10.
Right,
so we should have.
I would keep that yourself with me. Listen, anyway, we've also been joined by Billy. Evening, Billy.
Oh, how's it going, Troops? All right, Stevie boy.
Billy boy, the last time I seen you were Blackburn at the Ballagher. How did you get him?
Oh, right, listen, I don't know this, but it's this big boy. I don't know who he was. He says, jump the binny bus, wee man, you'll be right enough. We'll drop you right at your door, wee man. You're right enough when you get.
Oh, that's right. I remember at New Year, who was the one with the wooden curtains, wasn't it?
That's right, aye. And the big light one with the light bulb.
Next to the burnt out skip and the burnt out motor.
That's the very place, mate. That's the very place.
That was a nice motor, pup.
Aye.
What's that motor? It was a horse. It's Billy Bathgate. Look at the horse. Anyway, listen, boys. Look, I only came on, flew on. I'm just out of band practice here, giving it Yahoo. The Rangers in a good place. We've got as good as chance as any. So let's get behind. With the support we've got, let's get behind them. Look, if a team scores against us, man, that's when we should be at our best, getting up and getting behind them. No criticising them and slaughtering them. And just let's get 5 games. Think about it. And I'm telling you now, we beat Motherwell at Ibrox, beat Hearts away. That's the key there. Beat Hearts away and draw with Celtic at Parkhead to win the league. I'm telling you, win the last 2 games. You'll do that, no problem, because you'll be in such a high. We've beaten Hearts, drawn with Celtic, and then the other 2 games will be no problem. Trust me. What's your thoughts on that panel?
Oh, we're not allowed to say. We're not allowed to look at the next game or Albert kicks us on and he hots.
I'm telling you the truth. Aye.
Listen, mate, I think you've got a valid point. I don't think even all the teams are there no certainty to pick up all the points, mate. Yeah,
No chance.
You know,
No chance. No chance. No, listen, you watch them because
it's been a remarkable. It's been a remarkable season, one of the strangest we've ever known. And if we go on and win this league from where we were when that guy came in the door, wow, big man.
Aye, magic. Right, listen, I'm going to let Bully belt into you and give you Yahoo. Bully, enjoyed the wee company the other week there. It was brilliant. Good wee night. We'll do it again. Bridgeman.
Hi, Stevie.
We are Drum Chapel boys. We make lost boys. We will through the these. Right, Bridgeman, you look after all them. You keep them on the ground, okay? Right, take your medication. I'll talk to you later on. Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Cheers, Stevie.
Catch you later, Biggin.
Oh, dear. What a boy.
He must have done his 3 months to Southside.
I'm just wondering about the catering if he joins us.
I don't know. There's certainly not be enough grub, mate. There's certainly not be enough grub. If you're all you can eat buffet, you'll get your money's worth. That's for sure. Right, Billy boy, the floor's yours.
Aye. Firstly, mate, I hear this goal. It wasn't a goal, and it was out, and it was in, and it was out, and it was in. Nonsense flying about with all the usual suspects in social media, and you know that mob for the dark side, always listening to Rangers radio. Well, I'm just got to put it out there, eh? It doesn't matter if it was out or in. The ball ended up in the pokey, right? And that'll in fact, it'll not even go a long way in the 20-odd goals, legitimate goals that we've had dropped off this season, right? So I just want to put that one out there. I don't know the ruling of the VAR, Ox. I'm not too sure yet. But because the linesman never had his flag up, I don't think VAR can intervene in that. But if it had been young imbecile for shots, should we say, here I certainly stuck his flag up, mate. You know him, it's the season ticket holder at that shower of SHITE across the city, mate. You know.
The linesman gave the goal, mate. And they can bump and come all they want, mate. If they want to use VAR, mate, you need the right equipment. If you've not got the right equipment, it's down to the linesman. The linesman gave the goal. We move on. Yeah?
Aye, that's it. But I'm just, as I said, mate, I'm just clearing that up there because they're all bitching about it like, you know, they got a goal. Aye, is that right? What about the 23 or something like that? Legitimate goals that Rangers have had, it's been disallowed. But we just forget all about A1s. Aye, no bother on that, eh? But regarding the game, mate, I thought we were miles off it in the first half. Like, you know, our shape was. I thought that was one of the worst I've seen us shape-wise, mate. You know, it was like I heard the elephants running up and down the park, mate. Honestly, but I caught the corner flag a couple of times actually. I texted Southside to ask him if it was windy there because I thought that because there were a couple of times the ball went down the left-hand side and I seen it ran away for young Mikey Moore. And then there were one time Big Chermiti, I think he had 6 touches on the ball and he tried to play a pass that wasn't heavy enough and it never got there. So listen, I thought Falkirk were by far the better team in the first half and they deserved their 2 goals. Second half, mate, I thought our quality shone through, like, and we adapted better to the surface and the weather conditions in the second half. And listen, to score 6 goals, you know, in any level of football is a great achievement, like, you know. But to go and do that away from him, you know, after going two goals down, is really good. It showed a lot of character there for the Rangers players yesterday, so it did. So they can. Well, let's hope they didn't go the whole scenario. We need to learn for it. Nonsense, eh? You shouldn't need to learn for that. We shouldn't need to go 2 goals down before we start playing football. Before we're wanting to have meetings in the middle of the park, outside. You know what I mean? We should be on it for the first whistle. Because I thought to myself when I was watching it yesterday, I'm saying to myself, who is it that's wanting to win this league here? Is it Falkirk or is it Rangers? That was the impression I was getting, you know. And listen, well, the rest is we're all shouting and screaming and all that to tell it to get their finger out. But listen, we got there, we scored 6 goals, we got 3 points, and that's what matters, mate. We're back up that a pint half of Hearts at the top of the league.
What would you rather, Bill? What would you rather? We were in control for the first minute, maybe huffed and puffed, and got a goal after 40 minutes, and then the game petered out 1-0 or that yesterday.
Oh, mate, I can't. Listen, I can't handle 1-0s. I know the Bridge likes a 1-0 all Arsenal, 1-0 to Arsenal, but I can't. That's no. Listen, it's no good for your nerves that yesterday. I know, mate. I've said this before the show. You know what I mean? They were all grey-headed, and that's one thing the Rangers know how to do. They know how to put us through that treadmill, you know. But listen, it ended up a convincing victory, Ox. So if we're going to score 6 goals every week to win 6-3 or whatever, I'll take that or the top of a 1-0 7 days a week, mate.
But you're right. The performance wasn't great in the first half an hour. Wasn't great in the whole of the first half. We gets the moment when we gets the goal, and then we started the second half. Well, gets the goal. Goals change games. Southside it.
Aye, certainly do. And listen, it's, as I said earlier, once we got that one back just before half time, I truly believed that we would go in the second half. I knew the wind was a big factor. I knew we'd have that behind us in the second half, and obviously the attitude had changed just 5 minutes before the final whistle, the half-time whistle, when they had their wee meeting in the ringway, and you could tell the attitude. They were going into tackles and up to work rate and everything else, and expected that to happen in the second half. They'd come out firing and got that early goal, and it just changed the game straight away with Chimiti making it 2 each, and then we go ahead straight away after it again. And second half, to be honest, it's the thing, mate, is I think when you look at it, Butland lost 3 goals yesterday, and apart from getting a hand on the penalty, he never had a safety, mate, in the whole game, but he lost 3 goals. I know you're coming to tune time, so I believe it's for one of Fox's good friends.
It started down in Flesher's Hall. They didn't even have a bar. Those 4 lads, they gave us all the Rangers we all love. Ibrox home to you and me. Our blue heaven, you will agree. 50,000 flock to see the Rangers we all love. The Saturday comes and the Bears will stroll along, shout and cheer and sing our songs. We don't care win, lose or draw, we're the greatest of them all. In this game they call football, it's Rangers we all love. Come on! Rangers fans the whole world o'er, all the loyal to the core, and support forevermore the Rangers we all love. The Saturday comes and the Bears will stroll along, shout and cheer and sing our songs. We don't care win, lose or draw, we're the greatest of them all. In this game they call football, it's Rangers we all love. Rangers fans the whole world o'er, all the loyal to the core, and support forevermore the Rangers we all love. Rangers fans the whole world o'er, all the loyal to the core, and support forevermore the Rangers we all love.
While you are sitting listening on your own, why not take part and give us a phone? We would love to hear your points of view, so get off your bum and call 0141 356 1972.
Yeah, that tune was especially for old Mac, one of White Inn's finest, and who? One of Fife's finest, who became the best of muckers due to Rangers Radio and the Mr. Fox. Brilliant, thanks for that, Fox. Thanks. Great number, and big shout out to Hoot and Mac. They know who they are. Right, I think it would be remiss if we didn't talk about the two fullbacks yesterday. And the good thing is, Southside, hopefully we've got two guys the wings in competition for places, yeah. For different reasons. I don't think the two of them were great yesterday.
No, caught up the park a couple of times and they played the ball in behind us. Tav obviously culpable for the penalty. Magoma took somebody out just in his own half, in their own half.
He miscontrolled it, mate.
Aye. And listen, I've heard debates about it and all that, but for me, you're not going to be where I'd cared for there, Pete's sake. Especially if you're running across the park. But aye, the two of them at times weren't great. It'll probably be good when we've got the backups back, Sterling and Romans. It'll obviously strengthen them. But listen, now and again they're going to have to play due to injury and surfaces and maybe fault fitness. And if Tav's credited with screaming the place down at half time and calling the meeting and all that and getting it together and trying to get them together, even although he wasn't having a great game himself, then fair play. Fair play to him. But aye, listen, the two of them, Magoma's done all right. He's had a pretty good season. He had to come in his own loan. He was played a lot of game time for us, and then he's obviously played a wee bit second fiddle to Romans because he's an upgrade on him, as you can tell when the boy came in. But listen, they done their best and they didn't have great games, but we've seen it through. And I don't think there'll be too many games in the last 5 games where they two will probably play together quite a lot. I think if Romans is back fit, hopefully will be for the Motherwell game or the game after, then that'll be a good addition. And Sterling, manager alluded, he didn't want to play him on that surface.
He said it's impossible to play him. Impossible.
Did he?
That's what he said in his pre-match interview, mate.
Regarding
for
the surface, aye.
That was the term he used, mate. Yeah, but listen, really unusual. With 3 fullbacks that were on the pitch yesterday get booked. Look, I'm not saying they were the worst 2 players in the park. People with an opinion and all that, but I think you could see the other 2 boys in the team, Billy, were a stronger team.
Definitely. Regarding, I'll go with Magoma first, mate. I don't think the lad is strong enough, mate, to be honest with you. He's too lightweight. Didn't get me wrong, he's good going forward. He's got blistering pace as well, we all know. But he's not the greatest at reading the game. He reminds me of the Brazilian lad that we had. If I'm honest, Docs, I can't mind his name. What's his name again? Jeffy. Aye, his positional sense leaves a lot to be desired at times, mate. You know, when he gets caught in the wrong side and all that. I've noticed that and all, like, you know. So, and then you look at the other side of the park with Tavernier, you know, we all know what Tav's done over the years at Rangers with his goals, etc. You know, that's no in dispute here, but you can clearly see that the Falkirk targeted Tavernier yesterday, you know, with his legs and that, like, you know. So, but we definitely look a stronger unit, should I say, when Sterling plays at one side and Big Romans on the left-hand side. And listen, I'm going to say something on, mate, about Romans. This is just my opinion on it, mate. I think he's got all the attributes, and I mean all the attributes to go in and be a Rangers captain. I really do, mate. And I think that could possibly be your next Rangers captain.
I was talking to a friend of mine who's outside, met up with last week at the game, and he was saying about we need somebody to replace Tav, etc. On forward, and I said, I think the guy's in the door, Billy. And the guy, whether he's that type of character it's suited for, or whether he wants to do it because of all the media work it maybe comes with it, that's up for debate. But the way he plays the game and the way he talks and the way he cajoles and he plays, you can see there's leadership qualities there on the part. But I don't disagree with you, mate. Bridgman, the two fullbacks yesterday, Tav and Magoma, different reasons. We're going to be a stronger team, hopefully. Sterling's fit. We know he's just going to play in that pitch yesterday, so he can play the next 4 games. And before we go back to Falkirk. And then
I think like Sterling's a far stronger, in general, he's a far stronger fullback than the 3 fullbacks that we had on yesterday. I thought, obviously, Tav, we've said this the whole season, he is lacking a wee bit now, and I don't know whether he's maybe even still holding or carrying a slight injury. But there's sometimes he gets caught out very easily, and he's not reading. He's reading the games, not as good as it was, and it wasn't that great before. He's still good going forward. I'll give him that. He still gets himself into the box and he's dangerous. But he's taking corner kicks and they're murder at times, and he's always taking the throw-ins on the right-hand side for whatever reason. I think he's just a waste of time, to be honest. But he very rarely actually finds a Ranger man. So, and that might be a thing we've got throughout the team. The people that take our throw-ins can't actually find a Rangers man. So I think maybe a bit of coaching, not just for the guys taking the throw-in, but for the guys who are going to be trying to receive it. So somewhere along the line, we can maybe strengthen that up. But yeah, I think Tavernier, very poor, and obviously a clanger for the penalty, a massive clanger. I thought Ngoma, he always seems to play in the inside left position, in defence, or the old left half position, when he's actually a fullback, or he's playing fullback, and he's not actually playing fullback. He's playing in this left half role, and he's cutting in, and their right winger, or the guy they've got out in the right, he's got all the time in the world. They can pick him out any time you want, because Ngoma's not going to catch him, and he's not going to get to him quick enough, and so on and so forth. And I think for me, the way he dived in and pulled that boy back and so on and so forth, all the nonsense, and he clogged him, absolutely clogged him. So I had no problem there. For me, he nearly got booked, nearly got sent off. So I wouldn't have been surprised when they sent off. Of course, legally speaking, from a football perspective, he wasn't even in their half. So whether he would have caught the ball or whether Ngoma would have got it, I don't know. Or whether the player would have got it, I don't know. But that was bad. And then the boy Aarons comes on and does another despicable one as well. It's just they just let you down. These are no Rangers class tackles from you're supposed to be football players in that position. A centre half, I can understand it. Pull them down, kick them, whatever. Take one for the team, all that nonsense, and that happens. But no, I'm very disappointed. I didn't think much of either of them. I like a boy in Gomo 90% of the time, I must admit. But at the weekend there, oh wow, a different boy altogether. And I think it's a pitch. Sorry.
Aye, listen, if we're honest, he hasn't played that much football. So he's been in the last few weeks. So he's been in the team. Obviously he appeared last week. He done okay. And he is young and inexperienced, but I think with the piece we've seen enough to see the boys do a bad player. Whether he's a left back in a traditional 4-4-2 or whatever you want to call it is up for debate, because I'm with Billy. He's not a natural defender. He doesn't sniff danger. And I think the difference you see Romans can get forward, and defending's also part of his game, so they're different players. I'm not saying Romans, people will make mistakes and have bad games. But yesterday's performance for Sterling, Tav coming back in, Sterling and Romans hopefully coming back into the team, our team will get even better Southside.
It certainly gets stronger. The last time that Sterling played on the Astro was the 5th of May 2024. It doesn't seem to play. He's only played 133 minutes on Astro in all the time that he's been with us. I know you're a stat man, but out of the 4,345 minutes of football he's played with us, 133 minutes is what he's played on Astro.
I like to do my own stats and not get certain people to send me them right enough.
Well, what do you mean people send me them? Do you know how I'm capable of doing this myself? Like a wee bit of research here. Are you sticking one into me here?
Can you run me through the games then? I've got them in front of me that he didn't play.
He's only played 4,745 minutes in a Rangers jersey.
That's what he's not played. That's the games. That's the minutes he's missed.
Out of the football where it is, and he's played 133 minutes on Astro.
Astro pitch, yeah.
Aye, but so obviously he's no. Listen, I like Sterling, right? I know his contract's up end of next season, but I don't know. His fitness is the issue that I've had to deal with. Don't know if he carries an injury, or carries something, because he doesn't seem to be able to string 3-4 games together for us usually, and I don't know why. There seems to be an issue all the time with him, but I'd like to sort of keep him, depending on. But he'd have to have a lot more game time. He would have to be playing more regular for us, because it's a lot. He's probably getting a decent pay, and he's not playing enough game time. And he is an asset when he is playing, because he's got power, pace, and he's got physicality that we need in that position. It makes a difference to our team. But
when he's on the park, mate, you're right, he's an asset. But
he needs to play regular. He needs to play regular, more game time up.
He was fit yesterday, and obviously, my guess on it would be it's his Achilles, Billy. You know, because of what happens with the give and the AstroTurf when you're running. I would think it's his Achilles, and that's the one he done last year against Bilbao. Yeah, roughly a year ago. Yeah.
All day long, mate.
Aye, so I would suggest it's his. I can't think anything else. It would be an issue, but the Achilles is a big one for that running. There's no give it.
There's no that surface, mate. No chance. You know, it's like, as I've said it before, it's like all Blaze Parks, all red ash parks. It's just a jumped up surface. That's all it is, mate. It's like running on concrete. They can 5G it, not bring out all these fancy terminology names, mate. That's all it is. You know what I mean? You see people that's got AstroTurf in their back gardens and all that, and their front gardens, because they didn't go grass or put the slabs down there, and that it's solid. You know what I mean? There's no gee in it whatsoever. I mean, I remember the goalie, God rest him, he done his he actually snapped it, Ox, and he sent me the photos. He says, "You want to see the operation, Billy?" I went, "Oh, come on, Andy." I says, "Is it gross?" He went, "No, I'll send you." I went, "I'm only going to send me." Right, I'll tell you one thing, mate. See, when you snap your Achilles, by the way, that's a dullion. Like, you imagine a tube or a tube going down through your muscle, and it snaps like a pen in half. That's what a snapped Achilles is. So that takes ages and ages and ages to heal, mate. You know, to get it ever not nothing back together, like all the scar tissue around about it, etc. And you can't take a risk on the parts, mate. No chance. Hopefully, Ox, I think the big man will play the next 4 games, and then he gets a good pre-season under his belt. And I think I'm with Southside on that one, Ox. I would like to see him staying, but he needs to get a good pre-season under his belt and start to string games together. And I think you'll see the right Raheem Sterling. He played with Manchester City.
he didn't play a lot of games. Dujon Sterling, yeah.
Dujon, big mustard. I get mixed up with him all the time, mate. But you see, we're talking. Sorry, Ox. Just to hang. You were talking about stats here, Southside. Do you know how many corners we had yesterday? Believe it or not.
No money, mate. No money. Right at the death, mate. Right at the death.
We had 1 corner.
Aye.
That's bizarre.
No, that was the one that Tav wanted to take, yeah.
Aye, 1 corner we had. For all the football and all, you would think that to score 6 goals, I think we had something like 20 odd shots or something like that, 9 or 10 in target and that, but to have one corner with all that possession or all that football in front of the goal's mental, isn't it?
Aye, because every time we're up the park, we're setting off the ball and up in the net. No.
True, aye, true. And you're spat my ginger Lawrence tea out there, mate.
Aye. Aye, listen, Stirling's and Roberts for different reasons. And by the way, I hope we win this trophy and Tav gets it. I think it would be a fitting end to his Rangers career. And look, the sands of time wait for no man. Tav's been a legend. Yeah, he showed leadership qualities yesterday, but he's only going to get older like everybody else, mate. And it's you don't want somebody getting out punch drunk. You want them getting out bottom tall, bridge manner.
Absolutely, Paul. It's got to be like you're talking about key positions when you're talking about fullbacks. Key positions in any team. If you get two good fullbacks, your team will do quite well. But if your fullbacks are, shall we say, getting injured continuously, then they're never going to retain their fitness, and they'll be able to retain their fitness. And a lot of the times they end up injured. It's, shall we say, it's their own fault. It's over trying or overstretching. Call it what you like. This is what happens in football. And Tim's right about the about the Achilles. It's sometimes it's unrecoverable. Sometimes you just can't. It doesn't happen. And that's all there is to it. I know they're going for dead man's ligament and things like that. These kind of things, but sometimes it just happens and you're finished, and that's all there is to it. But we've got a good squad. Danny Roll, I'm quite sure Danny Roll will be looking at the full-back side. We've got Romans, but we need backups, and the guys we've got for the backups at the moment, I don't think are going to be good enough for Rangers. My honest opinion, may I say that? And Rangers should be thinking they need to buy another full-back for the left-back position, and I think it'll be the same at the right-back. I think we need another two people for right-back, because I don't think Sterling's going to make it. I feel that. I feel that in my bones. That guy's not going to be able to make it. Some of the injuries he picks up is just strange. And I don't think Tav will be here next season, to be honest. He might, but I don't think so.
Just in other news, I've just been sent a message that one of the bizarrest sending-offs in a big game of football, Man United versus Leeds, Old Trafford tonight, a Man United player has been sent off for pulling somebody's hair, south side.
Oh, wow.
He's been sent to a club there. There's not much in it. If you actually look at it, the Leeds players get his horn right across the Man United player's face when they're still 40. Does he really pull his hair, or does he just sort of grab him and then let go? I don't know.
Just rub it.
I take it as a sending off offence these days, but aye, it's a bit mad, innit? Honestly, I've seen the clip there. It doesn't look much in it when you see it in real time, to be perfectly honest. But bizarrely, aye, I see Leeds are battering them 2-0 and all. So funny game of football, innit?
The game's changed, mate. The game's changed. Right. There's something else I wanted to discuss yesterday. I don't know what you've seen it. It is in the first half an hour with no tempo in my game, but this, I know they've no options, but sometimes we've got to just go along and not put myself under pressure, particularly at the start of a football match. Southside.
Well, millions of times I've seen that to a couple of boys on about me and that, why we're not just kicking the ball along in that type of weather. Chimicky's no bad in the air. He can flick balls on. You go and play half the second balls if you can. There's no point in trying to walk the ball out for the back when you're sort of only going so far and then you're passing it back to your goalkeeper. And these by kicks, when the centre back kicks it to our goalkeeper, who then he gets rushed for the edge of the box, and then he's got to kick it up the park anyway. So why not just take the by kick? What is the problem here? No, why not just send your defence up the park and kick it long? I just couldn't understand it yesterday at all, and we've been doing it for long enough. It's not just yesterday, but in any type of conditions, we should have been knocking the ball long and looking for the second ball in the first half instead of some of the nonsense that we were doing in the first 30 minutes, Ox, to be perfectly honest.
I think if I'm honest, there's two centre-halves, too many touches in the ball, Billy. And if you've not got something on, you just go long. And I agree with Southside. I can't for the life of me. They play it to the centre-half who's 5 yards wide for the goal. He gives back to the goalie and you play it up the park. Play it up the park and have your team set up. No stretched. I don't understand it.
No, it's mental, Ox. I've said it a million times, I know, mate. You know, it's just, I know a lot of these managers and that, they're wanting to, you know, they're telling you, right, this is, they play the wee triangles and try to shift the ball about and all that in the wee spaces, not in the wee areas. I understand all that, but there is, you've got to mix your game up, Ox, you know. Your guys are bang on what you're saying. You've got to mix the game up. You've got to go long, you know, when just to get just to give your back four a wee breather, to give your midfield a wee breather, just to go long, let your centre forward go and work it and chase it, you know what I mean? I'm all for that and all, because see all this tittering about and going back the way, and you know, you play it into midfield and then there's a pass on in front and he stops and he turns and he goes sideways, then it goes back to the two fullbacks again, you know. And then how many times I know do you see it when we get the ball like that, Ox, Southside Bridge, when we get the teams, you watch the teams, they just press and they press and they press and they press and they try and force you into making that error. And under this, on that surface, mate, and on the conditions yesterday, we were very lucky at times that we never get caught out by doing exactly that. You know what I mean?
I just don't understand it, because when you're messing about with the ball 20 yards for your own goal, 10 yards for your own goal, 5 yards for your own goal, one error and the ball can be in the net.
Correct.
And it's 60 yards away from your own goal, you've got a chance of scoring. Yeah, I'm not saying everything's going to be a long ball and big punch up at park, but just common sense football at times, Southside, and the Bridge can come back in. Bridgeman?
Me? Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to somebody else. Apologies. No, you're right. That team played against us, and a lot of teams do. And originally, straight away, they start playing longer balls, and then they're not beasting it up the park all the time, but they're playing longer ball through the channels, basically, and they're looking for the winger to pick the ball up and do the business, and it happens, and it works, a number of times against Rangers. No matter who we're playing, they will all try that. The long ball down the wing, we cannot master that at all, neither in attacking or defensive. We try that sometimes, and you know, unless you've got Chermiti really on form, he can maybe pull the ball down. Other than that, that's a wasted ball, because it's going to go straight to their goalkeeper, or it's going to go straight out of the park. So we need to watch what we're doing, trying to use the long ball. We need to be able to pass the ball. Now, may I say, for gentlemen, and I mean this in all honesty, and I'm talking to every Rangers fan that's listening, we are absolute murder at passing the ball. Absolute murder. We are our own worst enemies, and I would imagine a good percentage of our goals has come from us losing the ball by bad passing. No by somebody coming in and taking the ball away, and that happens too, but by bad passing. And you can see it. We misjudge the pass. The guy you were looking at, he's moved, and the ball goes into where he was. That kind of stuff, you know. So we're just up our heads. We're not right there. But the long ball, I agree. Coming out of defence, you have to use some length. You have to lose some length in a pitch like that and the weather like that. You've got to do it, because Billy was right. It gives a break to the back four, and yes, particularly your defensive midfielders. I'll give them a break as well. The ball's going up the park, and let the rest of the team see if they can fight for it. But unfortunately for us, we don't seem to be able to fight for it, particularly in the first half. Yesterday, we saw that. So we were really rubbish. And then in the second half, we did it. We played good ball, tight passing sometimes, but long passing, excellent. So, and we get somebody like Goram on your team, You got to put the ball to him, find his feet, let him go and run for it, and he's away. And he'll do the business, and he has done. And I think he's a smashing player for us. And we should be using players like that, him and Ant-Man. Whoever we've got wide in the wing, or the wings, we have to use them to be able to put the ball in. The balls that went in the second half were fantastic crosses. Low, hard, low and hard. Everybody tell you, low and hard in, and a centre forward will get his shoe at it, a knee or anything at all. And we did it yesterday. Superb.
The thing I can't understand, Well, I'm not saying that long ball football is pretty, but with the wind and the surface, yeah, and you're just getting the ball away from your goal, you're taking the pressure off your team. It just makes common sense for me. And what doesn't make sense is also when you play it about and then somebody's running into the goalie for him to clear it under pressure. Whereas if you've taken the goal kick and you take it under no pressure, surely that's easier. I just don't get it, mate. I really don't.
I'm the same, Ox. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me, mate. It doesn't. I can't understand it for the life of me. There's only a couple of things you could think about. Maybe it could be this or could be that. I don't know if that's the keeper, Jack Butland, that's just doing it himself, or it's a nucleus of Jack Butland doing that because the manager's told him that's how he wants to play. But the other thing, when you look at it, you've got the two fullbacks and especially the two centre halves, mate. I remember Super Al used to call Big Terry Bootchester, Big Bootchester. I'm brilliant with names tonight, I'll tell you. Big Terry Butcher used to call his left peg the Winchester. You know what I mean? Because he used to hit that big diagonal ball. And then, to be fair to Big Conor Golson, even with all his faults, his defensive frailties, etc., he had that in his locker as well. Whereas the two centre halves, I've no got that, mate. I don't think they can hit that diagonal ball just to get us up the park. So it's got to come for the keeper, as I said. Maybe the keeper, that's the way he's wanting to play it, or the manager's told the keeper to play that way, and that's what they want to do. But you've got to mix it up. It keeps it, when you start mixing the game up, it keeps your opponents guessing all the time. Because when you don't mix it up, then you become predictable. You know what I mean? And then when you become predictable, that's when teams suss you, and that's how they're exactly what happened yesterday. You've seen that Rangers were trying to knock the ball about the back, so their managers have obviously seen that frailty in the Rangers line, and he's saying, well, no, today then, when you go and hunt the ball down, and that's exactly what they've done.
And then it becomes one pass, somebody's under pressure, somebody else has got somebody right up their backside, and it can all be prevented if you go long and you move your team up. I'm not saying it's pretty football, but play the circumstances, play the pitch. Right, man of the match yesterday, arguably for me, I went for Nico Raskin, mate. I was guided by Allbear, Southside.
Right, Raskin probably gets it for his assists, his goal and stuff, second half performance. There wasn't many great players in the first half, to be perfectly honest. There was a couple, but Raskin probably gets it, just because he was also involved in a couple of assists, as well as getting a goal. But Gasmara played well on the left-hand side, second half as well. He was decent. But I agree with Nico Raskin.
Bridgman?
I would go for Raskin as well. Particularly his second half performance was just excellent. Brilliant involvement in the game, reading the game, playing, just excellent. Overall, just excellent, I thought. And his goal tells you all. Wonderful goal, just wonderful. So Raskin it is for me.
Really?
Yeah, a toss-up, mate. A toss-up. I thought Chukwueze had a good game yesterday, to be fair to him. You know what I mean? He chucked in with that goal too, so they did, pardon the pun. I thought he had a good game, mate, but it was between the two. I thought Chukwueze and Raskin were good, but I would split hairs, mate. I would just get to Nico for his all-round 90-minute performance, mate. Paul House, I think, Paul.
I thought Big Chuka had his worst 30 minutes in the blue jersey, mate.
Do you think so? Well, hey, listen, he wasn't the only one, was he, Ox?
No, the first half an hour, I thought he was poor, but the whole team was poor. Yeah, and then obviously you grew into the match, you know. But listen, you could have went with Yovsky, you could have went with obviously Big Chermiti, Raskin's got a goal. You mentioned Tucci. That's a good thing, Southside, isn't it? If we're debating who's the man of the match, isn't it?
Aye, it was easier to say it was the support yesterday, actually. That was stunning watching it. But aye, there was a couple of shady performances. First half, obviously, there was a lot of them. And you were just getting frustrated and no at the races. But second half, there was a few who turned up for their work. And listen, you could even go on and say Majowski for the second half performance as well. He linked up. He played a nice ball out to Gisama, who managed to get a shot off and
he played a nice header down to Big Chermiti, mate. He nodded one down, and you're thinking he's likely just because he missed one and put it on the bar for the free kick, yards offside.
Nah, he had a nice link-up play with Gisama, who cut inside and had the shot, and it got blocked or appeal for a handball, and it fell to Chermiti, and he dispatched it. Majowski had influenced the game yesterday as well in the second half, same as the Gasman did. As well, obviously, as well as with a lot of players that were a bit more on it in the second half compared to the first half. But probably Nico gets it. Plus, he was out there protecting him with some tackle that boy put on Magoma out wide in the left back position. He left him lying in the turf, and Nico went out and had a wee sort of push at him and falls down. And he ends up getting a booking. I don't know, he's got about 6 or 7 bookings, Nico. You need to be careful because he might be due a suspension shortly. So we need to box clever with that one. You can't really afford him to pick up a suspension with 5 games to go, to be perfectly honest, Ops.
No. Play with the head, no with the heart. Moving into the last half an hour, let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Can I just apologise to everybody for not keeping them up to date with the Southside Super 6 after half time at the weekend. I get dragged away elsewhere, so apologies.
Should get dragged away a bit more often.
I thought it was you who was going to drag me away, mate.
Just not found the right van yet, buddy.
Make it an ice cream one.
A Mr. Whippy.
I wish we could have made fun, mate. Dear. Listen, look, fabulous result in the circumstances. 2-0 done. Come on, who predicted 6-3? Who predicted 6-3? Billy?
Nobody. You know, see when I'll tell you, what I used to do to see when I look, you normally Rangers get a goal done or a couple of goals done or something like that. I'm going to jump onto the no betting app just to see what price they were to come back and win the game. And I was feared to look yesterday because I says to myself, I'm not going to bet nothing in your case of jinxes, like, you know, but they listen, Houdini, they're another belter there. And what am I talking about tonight? I'm talking some mumbo jumbo, I tell you. That's the drink for yesterday, guys. No, as I said, you would never have predicted 6 goals yesterday, no chance. And listen, if there's anybody out there that's got that correct score, right, well played. You know what I mean? Because that'll be about 50s or 100 to 1 or something like that. But listen, see, just to touch on Majowski, I know he's come in for a bit of criticism in that, Ox, you know, for certain areas of the support in that, like, and I've always backed the guy. That's the Majowski that I'm talking about yesterday. He scored the 2 goals. You get the ball into the areas and give him the service. He'll score the goals all day long. And I'll go on and say, well, actually, he'll score more.
3 games in a row, mate.
That's right, mate. You know, I think that, to be fair to him, I think if he gets a run in the team, or the minutes that Big Chermiti's got, even for Big Chermiti, we know he's rough around the edges and that, like, you know, we understand that. But for a striker, for talking sake, I'd be playing Majowski, and I think you'll get more goals out of Majowski than you will out of Chermiti. But that's just my opinion on it. And just to touch on the Raskin one, the south side and all that. Sorry, mate.
We've been joined by Bob Jar. Evening, Bob Jar.
Good evening, lads. How we doing?
Evening, Bob Jar.
Yeah. How you doing, Brad? All right, son. I can't one thing. My bum cheeks were applauding one another yesterday after 24 minutes. I knew we would get a stiff game earlier. Always on that plastic pitch, that three-sided stadium where the wind never stopped blowing earlier. The wind blows that song earlier with the Henleys, and then it blows it back up its backside. But yeah, well done, Rangers, for sticking in there, for keeping believing, as the banner said at the end of it. We kept on going, kept the head down, and got our just rewards. And for once, Rangers got a bit of luck in the 6-yard box. I don't know, you know who, the boy used to roll right out of the 6-yard box in front of the strikers for tap-ins. Well, we got them yesterday, and well done, Bojan Majewski, as Billy says. I think there's a few more goals to come out of him this season. And well done, Chermy. It's good to see your two strikers getting 4 goals between them. And I never ever thought we were going to score 6 goals. I didn't think we were going to score a goal yesterday, the way things were going. But the game last 90 minutes, Rangers kept on going, and we took the plaudits in the end. And I didn't care what Mr. McGlynn says. I don't know what he was agreeing about. But there you are, he's the opposition manager. That's his prerogative. Well done, Rangers. Well done. More of the same. But one thing that concerns me, guys, I'm sure it concerns you all. Yeah, we're scoring a lot of goals, but we're conceding a few and all, and that's got to be addressed. So there you go. That's me for this moment.
The last 3 games we've scored 14, but we have conceded 7. There's, I suppose all goals can be stopped from a defensive point of view, but when we shoot ourselves in the foot, it doesn't help Southside. So we've got to. It's a concentration. We've got to get our head on and make sure it's no unforced errors, mate.
Aye, we've been doing pretty well up until recently, Bob Jar. But listen, I don't care. We could lose 3 goals as long as we score 4 or 5. It'll no matter, Bob. It's down to how Tuesday get wins, mate. 5 wins us this league title. For where we were when Danny Rowe came in, he had to come in, assess the squad, see what he could do, and then look to get it refreshed and see where he could take us this season. Probably just come in to do a job and try and get performances out the team because of our low in confidence and everything else. And he's turned it round. We've got players out there that are playing well now that he's managed to get to play well. There's others who could improve, be a bit more consistent, like you say. Chimicky's come in first season, paid a lot of money, but he's starting to settle in. He's coming good at the right time. Majewski's come in, probably feels hard done by. Wasn't he in the team because Nadiri came in, and you look at the amount of goals he's scoring there since he's come in the team, even the one chopped half against Aberdeen a couple of weeks ago. So he knows where the net is. If we create chances, it looks like he knows how to score them. We're the team in form, mate. Don't let anybody kid you. We're the team in form. We're smashing teams now. We might be conceding goals, but we're scoring a lot. And listen, we've got the momentum now. And hopefully when they come back after break this week in Spain, we're ready to go against Motherwell. It'll be a hard game, but we're at home. We're in good form at Ibrox. We score a lot of goals at Ibrox. So that's a tester, and hopefully we'll go out there and do the business against Motherwell. Then we can have a look at the other 2 and see what they've done. But listen, Bob, we're 5 games away from winning a league title for where we were. And it's all down to Danny Rowe and what he's done. And we've had blips throughout the season, which we're going to have. It's not going to be perfect. But listen, in his 25 games, we've lost 1. In his 25 games in tenure, we've lost 1 game here. 1 game. So let's hopefully we get 5 wins next, and we can all celebrate as one and enjoy the summer. And then we can look forward to next season when they give him more money, and hopefully he'll get better players in to help his squad, and we'll get rid of a few, and there might be a couple of big bids will come in for 1 or 2 of your players. Should we take it? We reinvest the money in quality, mate, and we just keep it going. As Cavan said, we're here to win sustainably over a period of time. So let's hope that this season we get a job done and these players can become heroes.
Well, there's 2 things I'd like to say about yesterday. If we remember the last visit to the Falkirk Stadium, what happened? The ignominy, the manager walking out of the park with a sack, That's what that was documented last week. But see our season, Falkirk's had a really good season. The Stuppy side had some good results. They're in the semi-final of the Cup. They've done well. They're not a bad young team. And nobody has turned them out at that stadium. Our Rangers turned them out yesterday and how. So that's a great sign to me that we can go there and score 6 goals against them, against a well-organised, well-drilled young team. So come on, Rangers, keep it going for the rest of the season. As you said, Southside, 5 wins and we're home and dry. It's still going to be easy, but we're the team in form. We're finding the net. So we just find a wee way for to plug the gaps at the back. We can do it. All right, guys?
Here, mate. Here. Billy, back in you come, then back to Bridge.
Aye, I concur with everything, lads. You know, Falkirk is always a tricky place where to go. What we got there, we got a cough in the background. Somebody
Don't worry, it's the dog. He's got a cough. He's older now. He's like me. He's getting there. He's okay.
Give him a cough, sweetie. Give him a cough, sweetie.
I'll give him a cough ball. What I'm the one is a cough in. There you go. That'll come in the fullness of time.
Aye, listen, Falkirk are a good side. Let's not be kidded on. They're well drilled, as Bob just said there. You know, in my opinion, I think they're only maybe 2 or 3 experienced players who they go and really challenge the likes of Hibs, Hearts and that up there. You know, a third, maybe third, fourth team. You know, they're a very good side, like, you know. And listen, don't be surprised if they go to Parkhead and take something away from Parkhead in a couple of weeks' time. Do not be surprised in the least at that, because they're certainly a good team. They're a young team, you know. They all fight for each other. They work their socks off the ball and off the ball and on the ball. You know what I mean? They're a good side. So, but listen, as Southside said, we're only 5 games away from winning this league, and it's down to the manager and what he's done. Has he made mistakes? Of course he has. You know, he's a human being. He's still learning the reins at Rangers. You know, he'll not be the first manager to date, and he'll not be the last when you look at our history. But let's hope he's going to be one of the successful managers. And listen, he come in to where he's come comfy in 25 games or something, only to lose 1 game and to be sitting a point off the top of the table, you know, with 5 games to go to win the league, it's absolutely incredible where he's coming to. And what a feather that would be to Haney's cap to win that league title under these circumstances. Because I'll tell you one thing, there are other managers out there and they're getting XYZ amount of money through at them, you know, and they can't do it, you know, and this guy's only been in the door for the time he's been in the door, and look what he's done already. And he wasn't, listen, Knox, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I had my arguments with boys as well regarding Danny Rowe, you know, both on social media and boys in the pub, etc. and all that. I'm like, who's this? You know, but I think the reason behind that was, mate, we've been stung that many times and we find it hard to trust the decisions that was going on at Rangers, you know. But now we've got that stability in the club again. We've got that wee bit of security within Rangers now, and that it's obviously the platforms there for the foundations there to build on, and that's exactly what's happening now. Like, and it's only got to get better. And I'm really looking forward to the next 5 games. And as the Southside said, listen, if we score 5 goals and they score 3, that'll do me for the end of the season, because I don't think I could handle 5-1 nothings, mate. Certainly no.
Can we get our 5 goals first then?
Aye, definitely, mate, definitely.
You know, but aye, Bridgeman, Danny Rowe, done a great job. It's building up, the excitement's building. You'll know when you're speaking to the relations, because I know what you speak about. People are starting to believe that. Would have predicted this in October, huh?
Definitely not. No, I think we realise at this stage of the season, looking, we've only got 5 games left. But looking, if you look forward 5 games, and if you look back and you say, what was the biggest problem we had this season? Well, it was we put a manager in that didn't seem to be a manager at all from a Rangers perspective. And that was I think that was the biggest problem we had. We brought this manager in, and I know he's a couple of areas where people have doubted him, and they probably still will doubt him, I must admit. and unless he wins the league. If he wins the league, I don't think anybody's going to doubt him. But he's picked up players that were left with him, and he was left with, and he's done some good stuff with them. But mostly he's done a clear out and get moved a lot of people on, getting them off our books and so on and so forth. So he's managed to do all that, and while he's doing that, he's managed to reconvince all the players that we got here and brought in January that they're better players than they are. You're a lot better than that, but sometimes we don't see it like for 25 minutes or so at the weekend there in the first half. We were right, but we can step forward out of that now, and I tell you now, like everybody, Rangers have just got to win. They've got to win, and they've got to get that mentality into their game at a club level and squad level. We've got to get that in there. It should be part of their persona. They're not going to kowtow to anyone. And I loved it. It was a skirmish near the dugouts, and Raskin came in and shoved the guy, and I loved that. I thought that's what we should be doing. Every Rangers player, they were nearly all there, and they should be in there shoving the guy that's going to do all the offending. Shove him, keep shoving him, and let everybody know you're not going to put up with it. No, you're not going to get scuffles, killing people or anything like that.
You got booked for it, Bridge. You got booked for it. You got booked
yes,
for
I
it.
know. I know. I mean, that alone was a disgrace, because it didn't deserve it didn't deserve a booking. That was just a handbags at dawn. Move on. You know, that's what it should have been. You know.
Modern football, mate. Modern football. You get
yeah, I know.
You get sent
But I
off
just
for
like all the players to be there and support the guy, because there's nothing worse than getting isolated in a football pitch. And you're turning around and you're looking. Okay, you've given a foul, even, or if you've been the victim of a foul, you deserve support from your teammates. So everybody get in there and do what you want to do. Shove people out the way, calm people down, get your player and move them out the way. All these things, you've got to be there to do it and show the support. Everybody together, show the support.
There's times when even my own teammates are trying to kick me, Bridge. Right, okay. Just for the last few minutes, mate. Billy mentioned Andy Goram. Andy Goram would have been 62 today. Sadly, no longer with us. Arguably, for a lot of people, the finest Rangers goalie ever. That's some compliment, but he's known as the goalie. He played the fabulous Rangers team at 62, and Mr. Fox is challenging you. We're maybe talking on the pitch here. Your favourite Andy Goram memory, Billy?
The one for Van Hooijdonk, the scissor kick, mate. They talk. I was right in line with that, mate, in the Western Enclosure. I could not believe he got to that. I'll tell you something now, mate, right? I'm going to be brutally honest here. They rant and rave about the Gordon Banks save for Pelé, right, away back in, I think it was 74 World Cup final.
1976.
1970. 1970.
Oh, 70, yeah, Mexico, yeah, right, and I'm sorry.
Well, the rant and rave it now, obviously I was only a baby then, you know, but I seen that, and what a fantastic save it was, mate, right? It was a brilliant save by Gordon Banks, you know, and Pelé and that. I don't think the two of them are longer ways either, so God rest the two of them. But to me, that save for Andy Goram was as good or if better, even better, mate. That to me was the best save I've ever seen, mate.
It was up there, mate. It was up there. I got the Pelé ones when he done the one for the halfway line, and the header, and the dummy when he put it past the post. Did they ever score? Right,
very good.
1,000 times up.
That one. the one that Billy talks about, because you know where we sit, Ox, and I mean that was unbelievable. That save, it was out of this world. Tosh McKinley crossed it out, and I thought it was hitting the net. And what a save! It's Andy Goram. I've said it on here. For me, he's the best goalkeeper I've ever seen in a Rangers jersey. At one point, 91, 92, or 92, 93, you could work it out for yourself, whatever you want. Andy Goram was one of the top 3 goalkeepers in the world, I thought, at that time. He had some save for Paul Mistay up there playing against him. He dived up and was going in the top corner and he's put it out of the bar. His night down at Leeds United epitomised everything about Andy Goram. You want to know, in a Rangers jersey. I think it was Rod Wallace that actually nicked one by him near the end. But he was outstanding that night. McGregor was good. He was a really good goalkeeper and he had some fantastic saves and it's got to a level. But I don't think McGregor, in my eyes, I ever thought he was in the top 3 in the world at one point. But for me, Andy Goram, 91, 92, 92, 93 season, he was outstanding. He was absolutely outstanding. So for me, he's the greatest goalkeeper I've seen in a Rangers jersey in my lifetime so far.
That's a bit of a compliment, mate. Bob,
well, I can go back a long, long time, and I've seen a lot of great goalkeepers. A lot of great goalkeepers. I've seen the great Levy Yashin play, if any of you have the courses up. And I'm afraid I think Andy Goram was the best goalkeeper I've ever seen, and I've seen the greats. I've seen Shelton, I've seen Banks, as you've mentioned, Yashin. Oh, wonderful goalkeepers. Well, Goram, to me, he was a kingpin. He was tremendous. He wasn't big. He couldn't run. Both the knees were gone. And he liked a few beers. And he was going with a lassie up my way. And somebody met him and I was thinking, and his diet wasn't what you should say. But, no, I'm afraid, Mr. Goram, the greatest goalkeeper I've ever seen. And a save, you went through a lot of the saves there, boys, but one of them was a Hoydon penalty, and I lip-read him after he saved it. The same as the rest, if you take my point. So, aye, in some game that night, you know. He won Rangers Leagues, he won Rangers Cups, he took us far in Europe. What a man, what a goalkeeper. Best I've ever seen.
Richmond?
Well, you know, Goram was Goram, and I wouldn't say he's the best goalkeeper in the world's ever seen. But from a Rangers goalkeeper, well, there wasn't anybody that had been better than him, was there? We've had great goalkeepers. We've been fortunate to have some great goalkeepers. Even the one that's just finished with us, Alan McGregor. My God, look at saves he's made for us. You know, particularly I can't remember the boy's Celtic player's name. Celtic player, and McGregor brought up a wonderful save for the penalty, and that changed the game for us. Who was the Greek boy that played for them again?
Samaras.
That's him. Well, that's the one. There's many other goalkeepers. Even the guy we've got there now has saved some great saves for penalties and things like that. But character-wise, there wasn't very many could beat Andy Goram. The one's mental at times, you know. I know you don't maybe want to say that about a Rangers player, but he was kind of mental. He had his own way about him, and he went and did what he wanted to do. A wee bit like the other genius that we had was Gaza. He sometimes their own worst enemies, but
what
Andy Goram.
What geniuses? Baxter, Gaza, Goram, mate. Would that be fair, Bridge?
What's that? Geniuses?
What geniuses? Baxter, Gaza, Goram.
Oh, aye, absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. In that order, too. In that order, yeah. Baxter was just, I can't even find the words to describe that boy now, you know. And what a waste. You know, what an absolute waste. And the same with Gaza. What a waste. And I mean that sincerely. Nothing against them. Just Goram, well, we knew Goram was going to head one way, and Goram did. And that was his way. But Gaza and Baxter, they had many chances to, to fix things. But seriously, I just loved all these players. I loved watching them. They were fabulous to watch. Andy Goram, the boys are saying there and now, you know, he did things making saves. You think, how the hell's that wee fella reach up there and get that, you know? Just fantastic. And and he broke Celtic hearts so many times. With the gloves, they were running with that for a while with him. The gloves, because then I think he ran past the Celtic dressing room and threw his gloves in, or one glove in. I can't remember what, and that caused a big furore, you know. What a player! Hands up, I'll tell you now. For me, Andy Goram, probably in his heyday, if you found him at his peak, then he was probably the best goalkeeper the Rangers had. Backhand, say, in all honesty, he's the best I've seen in the world. There's a lot of good goalkeepers in the world for sure, and Lev Yashin was one of them. That's for sure.
I think the point Southside made was at that time that his rival would have been arguably Schmeichel at Manchester United. Yeah. But what you say, he's no saying in ever.
Buffon.
Buffon and all.
Yeah, there's some fabulous goalkeepers, and rightly he's ranked among them. I'm not saying he's ever best there's ever been. Buffon was something else to watch. He was an absolutely fabulous goalkeeper. But we know, we see them, we saw them, and they've all been great. I don't want to take any Rangers player or any Rangers, shall we say, star, and say that he's been the best player the world's ever seen. Apart from Jim Baxter, the best that's ever been. I think there's a stiff competition for that in the world. Stiff competition.
I get it. I don't think Southside was saying that with the whole history of football. He was saying that that's that short in time.
At that time, yeah, absolutely.
Can I just pay Andy a compliment before we wind the show up? What I will say is, as the goalkeeping position changed since he started his trade to finish, with having to kick the ball, the back pass rule changing, the game changing, the boys changing, you know, and he showed his flexibility. And I think I don't know if it was Southside or Billy said he wasn't the biggest, but wow, he could get about that goal. I
agree with that. Wow, by the way, I agree with that. Wow, absolutely wonderful goalkeeper, wonderful.
Oh, can I just touch on the goal? Is it too late?
There's always you've always got them on a night, mate. You've always on a night. Fox doesn't pay his overtime, Billy. Listen,
true, mate. True.
You know, we have a stickler for union rules. Right, last word, Bob Jett.
Thanks for having me again. Most enjoyable, brilliant. The funniest bit of Andy Goram history was when he tried to chase Robbie Winters up at Tannadice one day, and he wasn't the fastest runner in the world. Andy Goram, thanks for the memories. Thanks for having me, boys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye now.
And if you slip it in now, Billy, you might get away with it.
No bother, mate. I will do. I think one of his great attributes as a goalkeeper, he used to stand up to the last minute. He used to outfox the strikers in front of him. You know, when in the 1-on-1 situation, he was a master at it. You know what I mean? He used to make the striker make the first move, and that's what I liked about the goalie as well. You know what I mean? And that wee low centre of gravity, he could get down and block the good blocks, and that was just his all-round goalkeeping was just superb. But anyway, God rest his soul. Anyway, the goalie, as Bob Jer said, thanks for the memories, and cheers for taking my call, lads. And it's good to be back on the Rangers radio again. Obviously, there's no game this weekend, which is a bit of a pisser, right enough, but we look forward to the Motherwell game and get that one out of bed. But cheers anyway, and keep believing, Rangers. Keep believing.
Southside.
He was decent at cricket, I know. So he was Andy Goram.
You know, play for Scotland again.
Scotland, aye. So, but no, it's been a good night. It's good to be on the show with the legend, the bridge man. And like I was saying, Bridge, he was, for me at the times, 91, 92, 93, 93, for me, he was in the top 3 goalkeepers in the world at that time. For his performances, he was outstanding. But no, listen, we're all looking forward to the next home game at Ibrox. Teams away in a wee bonding session, a bit of golf, and there'll be a wee friendly game getting played, and then we'll come back and Ibrox will be rocking and roaring, hopefully, because we need to get Motherwell dispatched out the road and get 3 points won. Then we can look forward to Hearts, and then the third Delhi's. So, listen, it's there in front of us to be going. We've got the result. It doesn't matter about performance. The result's done at the weekend. 3 points. We march on. Let's get this job done, Rangers. I'd like to thank everybody in the YouTube feed, Ox, for been on the show tonight and listening, because I know we're clashing with some other podcasts now at 8 o'clock. Some of them are starting at the same time as us, and all the guys and girls out there on the YouTube feed have been loyal to the show and stay in the feed and listen. So I'd like to thank them for that as well. So thanks for having us on. Let's do this, Rangers. It's our time, it's our team, and it's our city. So let's make it blue in the summer.
Bridgman.
What can I say? What a fabulous show tonight. Everybody brilliant. Thanks very much for pulling me through it, Southside, and yourself, Hawksteer, and of course the techie boys in the background. But you know, we're talking there about one of the greatest players that's ever played for Rangers, and that was Andy Goram. Now, he wasn't the best player ever, but my God almighty, what a performance that guy could put up sometimes. Performances, one after another, and for his size and stature, my God, just my God. And the Rocks as oh God, I can't remember his name now for life. As he said, thanks for the memories. Just wonderful memories, and it was great to go to Ibrox and watch that guy. He could save the ball. He could be a goalkeeper. He knew what it was, and he made everybody else run about him know what it was. And so we'll leave it at that. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, everybody, keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us. Keep it going.
Yes, thanks to Big Stevie for joining us, of course. Billy Boy and Bob here. It was great to hear from everybody. Thanks to Southside and Bridgman for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking of all things Rangers. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.